Hi everyone, Grayson here and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be planting up a few of my summer containers and I wanted to bring you along for the process. Now when it comes to container planting, I love it because I will pair anything together in a container. I do trees, shrubs, annuals, and perennials. The sky's the limit. The things that you always want to remember or consider when you're planting up your pots is light requirements and moisture requirements. You don't want to put plants that are not compatible together in one container. If you have a plant that's a sun lover, you don't want to put that with a plant that thrives in full shade. So you always want to pair your plants together for light requirements and moisture requirements. Now I've got these two big containers here on the front porch by my front entrance, and in a past video last year I cleaned them all out and I spray painted the container itself and these big obelisks, and they have weathered very well for the last year. Now last year I planted these up with coleus, this variegated ivy, and impatiens. And as you can see, the only thing that's left is the ivy. Now this is really my spiller. Now I may train this up the obelisk form eventually, but for now I think I'm just going to leave it as is. When I think about what I'm going to put in this container with this ivy, I really want a thriller, a main focal point for this container. When I was designing this, I thought that I could use all green, but to me I just think that all green does not play well with the variegation. Okay, then I also thought, well, I'll do a variegated ivy that has a touch of yellow in the leaves. And again, it just doesn't really do it for me. It would work, but I want something with a little more wow factor. And I've really fallen in love with these chartreuse green hostas. You've seen in past videos where I've planted these coast-to-coast hostas down by the driveway, and I think this is the wow factor I'm looking for. Now the great thing about hosta is that it is a perennial, so the hosta is going to come back year after year and grow larger and larger, so therefore I'll be able to eventually dig these up in a year or two, divide them, and plant them out in the garden. That is why I love placing perennials in my containers. So I thought also, now I need a filler. I need something that is going to go well with this ivy, the shade-loving ivy, and the shade-loving hosta. And I decided to go with coleus. Coleus is one of my favorite annuals. I love coleus because it comes in many, many different colors, and it always reminds me of stained glass. Now when I think of these colors, this yellow-green, the opposite of yellow on the color wheel is violet. The opposite of green on the color wheel is red. So a violet red is a cool red, or a burgundy, or a wine color, or a merlot. So as I was looking through all the different coleuses, I looked at this one. I thought maybe this would work, and it would work, but it just doesn't have that ring or that zing or that wow factor that I'm looking for. And then I thought, well, let's see, what else do I have? I have this one, which has a little bit more salmon color, which would definitely work in this container. But again, I'm looking for that merlot color or that wine tone, and that is when I discovered these. So we have that beautiful merlot color, which is going to work beautifully with the green, the yellow green, but it's also margined in the chartreuse color of the hosta and the ivy. So this is how I determine how I'm going to place these containers together. And all three of these do well in shade. All three of these require the same moisture levels. And I think that these containers are going to be beautiful. So what do you say? Let's go ahead and get these planted up. I'm going to go ahead and use my Proven Winners continuous release plant food. Now this is heat activated, and I'm just going to take a little sprinkle and just sprinkle this through. So as the soil and temperatures rise, this will begin to feed your annuals, and I will also be fertilizing these once a week with the Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer. So it says on this container that these hostas will grow 30 inches by 30 inches. So that's going to get pretty substantial. These roots are not really root bound. So I'm just going to make a little well here in this container and just pop this right down in the middle. You don't want any air pockets. You just want to make sure that you have plenty of soil all around it. Next, we're going to go in and we are going to pop our beautiful coleus in. Now these coleus will get enormous and fill this entire pot in. And I'm going to use about 3 of them. And there you have it. That's the first container with our hostas, our coleus, and our ivy. Let's go ahead and get started with the second one. These are exact replicas of each other, and I'm only adding 4 plants, 1 hosta and 3 coleus. Y'all, we have had so much rain for the last 4 days, and I'm just now able to get out and get these containers planted. Hope you all are doing well this week. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. You've really made my day with that. I can't thank you all enough. Y'all are the best. If you're new to my channel, I'm glad you're here. It's been a lot of fun doing these videos for y'all. Here are my 2 front porch pots done, 4 plants each. I think they turned out beautifully, so let's head on to the next one. Okay, so now we're switching gears to a totally different location. My next set of containers are going to be in pretty much full shade. Now I'm on the stamped concrete patio in the backyard, and I planted these up last year for the first time. And again, I used these half moon hostas. I used a variegated liripy, or monkey grass as some people call it, and I used white impatiens. The hosta came back and the liripy came back, and eventually in a couple of years when I'm done with these in these containers, I'll dig it all out and plant it in the landscape. Now the first thing that I want to do is cut off all the old liripy because I didn't have a chance to come out in the spring and cut all this off. And what that's going to do is it's just going to free up more space for all of the new. And you can see what's old and what's new. It will show you the older is a darker foliage and the new is a lighter, more chartreuse. So now usually what I do is I come out in the early spring and I'll cut all the old off to make room for the new before the new emerges out of the ground, because I have this liripy all around this patio. This just cleans everything up. But I love this shady patio. I have 2 big 25-year-old river birches behind me. They have the peeling bark, and they provide a beautiful canopy. This is on the south side of the house, and it is full on baking sun. And I can remember when I planted these trees years ago, that you couldn't stay out here long because it was so sunny and so hot. And now they have matured. So now that we have all of the old grass taken off, I'm gonna fill these with more coleus like in the front, but I'm gonna use a darker red. So we're gonna go in with about 3 of these, and we're just gonna pop these right in. And also what I'm gonna put in here with the lime green or the chartreuse green are these light pink impatiens. Now again, the impatiens, the coleus, the hosta, and the grass are all shade lovers, and they all require about the same type of moisture. Now, when I look at this coleus leaf, right in the center is a pink margin. And I think that that pink goes real well with that dark maroonish red. So let's go ahead and get these planted. I'll put about 3 or 4 of these in. So what I do in between this liripy of the monkey grass is that I make a little well. And sometimes you can tilt your plant towards the rim of the pot. Now these hostas will grow pretty big and fill in. And as they go, I'll just come along and pinch off anything that I need to pinch. And I'll just walk over and plop those into the beds around this patio, and they will root in. Okay, so next we're gonna come in with these little impatiens. Now these impatiens will get really big and fill in these containers. I'm gonna make one exactly like this. This is one of 2. So in this container last year, I only had a couple of the grasses. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 more grasses to this container. I love liripy in containers because it just adds a strappy, grassy texture. And I love these monochromatics too. So we have all of this chartreuse, and then we're gonna fill in with our color. Let's go ahead and fill in with one of our coleus. So I'm gonna put this right in between 2 grasses. Okay, just like that. So you just want to kind of even them out. Like I said, as these grow and fill in, sometimes they get a little leggy, and I'll just come along and pinch them, and I'll just stick them down in the same pot that they're in. So these impatiens don't have a lot of color on them, but there's a little bit. Just pack these containers out. Now this impatiens doesn't have any bloom color on it. It will very soon. Let's go right in here. And you can have your root balls touching as long as you have soil around all your root balls, you're good to go. Next on the list is my umbrella planter here on the paver patio. This area gets morning sun until about 1 o'clock, and then it's in the shade for the rest of the afternoon. And coleus have always done incredibly here in this planter. Last year I planted up this container with color blaze coleus, I believe, and a couple of other things. I'll put a picture of that on the screen, and they did phenomenal. I also decided to pair with this Calibrachoa or Superbells. It's called Coral Sun. Now this is from Proven Winners. The light requirements for this plant is full to part sun, so I thought that these two would pair perfectly together. Now the Coral Sun has a corally pink flower with a yellow throat. I've never planted coleus and Superbells together, and this is going to be a bit of an experiment, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is recharge this soil. Now I'm using Espoma's plant tone. Usually I would use biotone, but I'm out of it right now. So any of your tones will do: holly tone, plant tone, rose tone, biotone. This is just going to help me recharge the soil. We'll just mix this all around in here. And that's going to do it for today's project. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you were inspired in some way to get out in your gardens and get those containers full of plants. And if so, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it helps me to continue to grow my channel and bring more content like this to you all. And as always, thank you for watching Gardening with Grayson, and I will see you in the next one.